Alright folks, today we're working on my E39 cluster because, kind of see there, my backlight bulb is out for the right side over there. So we will have to replace that bulb. Not only will we be changing that bulb out, we'll also be adding some chrome cluster rings to make this look a little bit nicer, kind of more like an M5 or other cars from this era. In addition to that, we'll also be fixing up this little trim piece. You can see mine is damaged. It's been weathered by vibration and the plastic is just cracked. We can fix that up a little bit, make it a bit nicer. It does rattle right now, which is really annoying, so hopefully that can be resolved. You can actually change this entire plastic piece, but it's over $100, and I think that's just a bit silly for a piece of otherwise cosmetic plastic. So yeah, we'll be changing out the bulb over there. We'll be changing out probably all the backlight bulbs, honestly. We'll be changing out this whole trim piece, and we'll be changing out, or adding those cluster rings, I should say. I will link the cluster rings and the bulbs in the description below. And yeah, let's get started. Let's start off by moving your steering wheel all the way forward, pretty much. Just give us as much space as possible. That should be fine. I think for the middle position, maybe a bit down, that should be probably a little bit better for cluster removal. You'll want to remove both this trim piece and this trim piece over here. Now I know mine are actually damaged, so I can repair those at the same time. These tabs are very fragile. They're basically these metal pins that slot into the plastic of the trim, and the plastic can get very brittle and just break apart. So you may have to replace those or at least repair them. With the age these cars are getting to, it's not very uncommon, so just keep that in mind. This won't be a very quick process, only because of all the little fixes we'll have to do in between removal and installation. So just keep that in mind, waiting for glue to dry and JV weld to cure and stuff like that. See, here's a prime example. Use a plastic trim tool to sort of pry these out, but you can see here that this one's intact, perfectly fine. This one over here, the plastic is just all crunchy. That's how it was already. So we'll have to take this pin out with some needle nose pliers and then kind of glue it in place and kind of repair. Now, normally you would have some plastic tabs off this trim kind of hanging in this area. You would have a Phillips head screw going through them. But you can see my trim, it's actually broken, along with this side is also broken as well, which makes things a little bit easier for me. But for you, you should have a piece of trim that kind of comes down and has a tab here. You can actually see the remnants of that tab over here, but it is just completely broken. Thankfully, my case hasn't caused any problems. The only problems I've had have been up here, where I have had rattling from around where the screw goes in. Hard to see on camera, but it is there. Now, next step after this is after you take out those two Phillips head screws, whatever you have holding the trim piece in, there should be 3 T10s that line the top of this trim panel over here, and those will be removed to get this actual outer plastic trim out first, before the actual cluster can come out. Alright, so the trim's been loosened up. You can see it had that broken piece pulled out. All those 3 T10s are out, along with the Phillips head on either side. I've had those removed at the same time. And now I can pretty much just wiggle this trim out of place so we can access the cluster. Don't forget to unplug your actual light switches over here, both the fog light switch and also the main headlight switch as well. If you're an M5, you can also unplug the tire pressure monitoring system RDC button over there. But yeah, now we can go ahead and remove this trim. And as a heads up, once you unplug your actual light switch, your headlights will by default stay on. So it's a good time to go ahead and unplug your battery. All right, battery disconnected, and wow, my steering wheel is due for a deep clean and probably a reupholstery. Anyways, now we can actually take the cluster out by taking out 2 more T10s. You can see those at the very top there, sort of surrounding the top ears of the cluster. We'll go ahead and remove those, and the whole cluster should just kind of pop out. There will be, I believe, 3 harnesses that attach to the cluster itself. And of course, having the steering wheel moved all the way out is crucial for this step. Otherwise, your cluster will be pretty much stuck in place. So you want to make sure you have the steering wheel all the way before you disconnect the battery. Of course, now we have 3 connectors. The ones like this, they'll be seated in the car sort of like this. You have to push down on a tab and push this down, which will release the connector from the cluster. It can be kind of tricky depending on what angle your cluster's at, but once you have kind of a hold on that tab and are able to push it down, it is pretty straightforward, which makes things easier. To reinstall them, they have to be pushed down first in order for them to engage, which will then let them slide up and lock into place. 1, 2, and 3 over here. Those 3 connectors are what make your cluster work. I have this extra wire here from one of my manual swaps, so just ignore that. But yeah, now you can go ahead and take your cluster inside and begin the work. On the back side of the cluster, you can see, of course, our part numbers, where our connectors are, and also where our bulbs sit. Now, this should be the bulb that's out. That's the one behind the mileage. You get a flathead screwdriver like this. Just sort of go right over here in the middle, rotate to the left, and you'll feel it kind of pop. There it is. Then you can use either a pick tool or some pliers to just kind of pull that bulb out of there. Now, if you were smart, you'd buy all new bulbs and replace them all at the same time while you have the cluster out. They're pretty cheap and easy to get, but I am not smart, and I did have this E36 cluster lying around from a friend. I don't know where I even got this from at this point, but E36 cluster has the same bulbs. I can take a donor bulb out of here and replace the one that's bad. Now, to make sure those bulbs are actually good, I can use this guy to test them. This is an adapter for a Milwaukee battery, kind of sketchy as you can see there. There's a fuse, thankfully, to kind of keep us a little bit safer. We can use this guy to test out the bulbs before we actually take it out of this one and put it into E39 cluster. Upon removing the four, I guess, major bulbs out of the E39 cluster, none of them actually seemed obviously burnt out. So why not go ahead and test each individual bulb before I actually go ahead and confirm that's the issue, because we never know, it could be a PCB side issue. If the circuit board of the cluster has a fault for whatever reason, not giving power to the bulb. So let's go ahead and test the bulbs before we actually move on to the next step, which would be changing the bulb out. That one's good. We'll put you on the good side. Good, no good, no good. So somehow we have two good bulbs and two not good bulbs. Only one appeared to be out, so I'm not exactly sure how that happened. But that is peculiar. Either way, we have plenty of bulbs to choose from to swap into this cluster. Now, you could use LEDs or LED alternatives for these bulbs at this point, but I'm not a big fan of how they look, so I'm not going to use those. Anyways, let's go ahead and grab some bulbs from the E36 cluster, test them out. We can throw them in this guy. We should be good to go for now. This one's good, and this one's good. So despite the sockets being a different color, they're actually the exact same shape and size, which means we can actually use these directly in an E39 cluster without having to take the bulbs out and put them in individually. So I'm just going to use these directly and plug and play them, and then I'll keep these two sockets for a different day. I might swap out new bulbs in those at some point. Eventually I'll be doing this again because these are old bulbs, of course. Who's to say how old these E36 bulbs actually are? It's hard to say. So I'm going to pop those all in now, and then we should be all set. And now we'll be adding these chrome rings off eBay to this gauge cluster. I have done this on a different car before, my R129 SL500. Those cars had the chrome rings in the cluster from factory in the later models. Mine didn't have it, but I liked it. It was easy enough to add. The M5 has the sort of rings in the cluster as well. I believe they're more of like an aluminum look. I believe the ZHP E46 has rings like this, amongst other BMWs from this era. Kind of a nice touch to add some, I guess, spice to your otherwise pretty boring cluster. So I figured we might as well do that while the cluster's out of the car. Now, to separate the front sort of lens piece of the cluster from the backing or the actual cluster itself. So to separate the sort of face or shroud of this cluster from the actual base itself, there are a few things we need to do. So you'll see these little, I guess, tabs that need to be twisted into place. It's hard to see on camera, but you can kind of see there's a line that this crosshairs will fit into if you rotate it. And there's quite a few of these connectors, or I guess tabs, all the way around the cluster. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we got 5 of those total. So 2 on the other side, 1 in the middle. We're going to want to twist those first, sort of out of the way, where it'll allow the cluster to pass through. And once those are done, we can actually remove these tabs and lift them up slightly with a screwdriver or a trim removal tool. 2 up top, 2 on the bottom as well, sort of on the further sides. So let's go ahead and do that now, and we can lift this off very carefully. We will want to use gloves when handling any of the, I guess, cluster internals, meaning these new rings, as fingerprints will destroy these pretty quickly, along with the actual lens, because fingerprints will also mess that lens up. Those will be kind of hard to remove, along with fingerprints in any other part of the cluster. We just don't want that to happen, so keep that in mind. I will put those on once these two pieces are separated. All right, aside from this one that broke, I've rotated the rest of them. In fact, it was a pretty satisfying click when I got this one in the right place. And now I got these 2 tabs loosened at the bottom. So they kind of want to come apart already, which is great. Just gonna come to this side now and loosen up these tabs, and we should be in good shape here. All right. And there we go. Let's keep this somewhere safe. All right, so for installing cluster rings, it's kind of tricky because of the size of what we're dealing with here. So the small rings are pretty easy. You can see here, thankfully this is the style where you actually can just pop them in. They should stay in place. There are these little tabs. This larger side will face outward. This side faces the inside. You kind of snake it in like this. And if it wants to, it will seat. Don't want to break it. And for my luck, part of my glove broke and got pinched in there. So got to push this out again now without breaking it. Lovely. For the larger rings, it's not as smooth of a process, only because the ring itself has to squeeze through that hole because it's a little bit larger than the hole itself, which makes sense when you think about it. So you kind of have to squeeze it in there without scratching it as much as you can. It's going to scratch, it's just kind of how it is, but you're just kind of hoping it's going to be on the more invisible side of it. So you kind of got to do this. Then it pops in, and then it's just kind of finding that spot where it does click in. And now these are a bit flimsier because they're larger, but it's all about kind of finding that place where they're heavy. And eventually with two hands, you can kind of get it to sit properly like that. Look at this side. Here's a preview of what we're going to have later on. It's looking pretty good so far. Just need to work on that stupid piece of glove in there. I'm not very happy about that. That'll probably take quite a while to get out because these small rings are definitely a tighter fit. So that's going to be fun, isn't it? Managed to get that little piece out, thankfully. And last but not least, don't get your glove stuck into this time, Sam. And there we have it. Look at that. Now let's just pop this sucker back on there. Very carefully. Got to make sure those guides kind of go back over where they should for those little tabs. And looks like we are good to go. Beautiful. That turned out really well. Big fan of that. All that's left to do is put this thing back in the car. Just polish the lens. It's looking pretty good. I've got rid of all the little minor scratches that are in it. Some of the stuff won't go away completely, but we made it a lot better for sure. But it's looking a lot better with the chrome rings in there as well. I do like that touch. I think it makes it look just a little bit more interesting. So that's going to be nice, especially with the backlight turned on. It makes the chrome look pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the car, make sure that it all works, and hopefully those bulbs have been resolved. They should be. No reason why they shouldn't be. Yeah, let's go confirm that. And then once all the other trim is finished curing after I've repaired it, we can put that back in as well. Well, that turned out really well. I mean, ignore that cracked piece, obviously, that's actually been repaired now. Won't rattle, but doesn't look pretty. Anyways, yeah, this actually turned really well. I'm very happy with how it looks. And all of our lights do work now. I've just verified that, and I'm really happy with how this all turned out. Should be fun to see that chrome bouncing off with the backlight. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. There's a better look with the backlight on. Looking pretty good. I will see you guys in the next one.